I swear, it's like 3 martinis in, Hinge open. Okay. I'm like, oh, I'm getting fired. Oh, someone put a meeting on my calendar. I'm getting fired. I can't locate my chill. I can't seem to find it. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Hi guys. I attempted a funky new hairstyle for my standards. You guys know I tend to wear my hair in the exact same way, video after video, and so I attempted something new. I could watch this video back and totally hate it, so please comment and say I look cute. It would really help my self-esteem. I do feel like though I look a little bit like Xenon from that Disney Channel original movie or whatever, like, you know, Zetus Lapidus, that whole thing. Anyway guys, it is a Friday as I'm recording this video. I'm in high spirits. I thought that I would shed some positive energy or like, you know, get rid of it, give it away, I don't know. So I thought that I would shoot a Dear Katy video and answer some of your questions, some things that have been bugging you guys recently, some things you just need general advice on, whatever word goes there. So enough with the lollygagging, let's get into it. My dad says lollygagging. Lollygagging, what does that even mean? Dear Katy, I haven't found my passion / calling, and I just finished nursing school in a crisis. What can I do feeling lost in life? So that question actually kind of goes along with this other question. I'm gonna mesh it together. I'm gonna make a little question sandwich. Okay, another question. I'm having an internal crisis and I need the advice from a fellow graphic designer. I just minored in graphic design and just graduated, and I'm working for a marketing agency doing social and design, but my real passion is hand painting and drawing cards, prints, etc. And I really want to turn that into a full-time career in the future. How do I make that happen? So moral of the story is with this question sandwich, you know, you put in the work to get the degree. You got the degree in your desired field. Nursing, it takes a lot of work to get a nursing degree. So props to you for even going through that first question asker. You're going down the path trying to figure out what career makes sense based on the nature, and you feel like you hit a wall and you're stuck because you're like, oh, is this what I wanted? Like, did I ever actually want this? You end up asking yourself all these questions that you don't even know the answers to. If there is anything that I wish that I had heard as a new grad, like more than anything else, it is this. Don't rush it. Don't feel like you need to rush into your dream job right away, right after school. You don't, okay? You can decide, even after getting that nice, shiny degree, that you don't even want to do that anymore, and you can still use that degree to get a job in another field. It is possible in a lot of fields, not all, but some. What I want these people to do, and anyone else that's in this boat to do, is get it down on paper. Write down on paper, physically write down, you know, the pros and cons to multiple different paths that you can go, okay? So for this person, it could be stay in the marketing role or leave the marketing role, open your own company, things like that, you know? Number one, get it down on paper, write down your thoughts, what is on your mind. Like, you know, sometimes it can just swirl, all your thoughts can swirl around in your head and like bang around in there and you don't even know what's going on. So write things down. Number two, get your hands dirty. Attempt to chip away, you know, kind of like chip away at what's underneath inside of you. Like, what are your real passions? But if you have absolutely no idea where to start, like you don't even really know what things to hold on to, you're not alone. You're actually very much not alone. Like, a lot of people feel that way, especially right after graduating when you're bombarded with all this pressure. So my biggest tip for people like that who are in that boat, and people that are in the creative field specifically, or anything that involves even just a little bit of creative juices, which is like literally every career ever, highly recommend Skillshare, which is the sponsor of today's video. You guys know I've talked about Skillshare in numerous other videos. I pay for my own membership each month. I genuinely think it's a really great investment in yourself. It's not even expensive, but like in general, it's a great investment of time, of money, etc. I just took this one class called Find Your Style, 5 Exercises to Unlock Your Creative Identity. And it was taught by Andy J. Pizza, who is Pizza's his real last name. He's an artist and designer that I really admire. He's done work for YouTube, for Amazon, and it's probably the most unique take I've ever seen on discovering, like on how, specifically how to discover your voice, your passion, your path. The way that he has you unearth who you are, he has all these exercises that you do. It's the most interesting, like unique, just out of the box technique. So definitely check out this course. I will have it linked below. I will have Skillshare linked below. And the first 1,000 people to use my link down below will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. That is what I pay for each month. And after that, after your first free month, it'll only be about 10 bucks. So check out the link below. Check out Skillshare. That's my second tip if you guys are in a rut, creatively, job-wise, just in any realm. Just kind of getting your hands dirty and figuring out what that creative passion even is, what the spark is, and then, you know, from there it kind of creates a roadmap of where you need to go. Number 3 kind of goes along with what I was saying about don't rush. You know, for me, I rushed right into a corporate job right after college, thinking it was what I should do. It was what all my friends were doing. It was what, you know, I kind of did the whole thing like, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? I totally jumped off the bridge. I was like, it just makes sense. I want people to see that I am doing well. And by doing well, I mean like, you know, following the trajectory of what I'm supposed to do, right? The whole destination concept is a freaking myth. You know, if you always kind of have this in your mind that like, once I get to this point, like once I get this dream job, then I'll be happy, you're going to end up disappointed, because if you don't find happiness at the source, okay, with the thing that you, the literal bag of bones you carry around each day, you need to find happiness here, where you are right now, without any of the frills, without the dream job, without all this stuff. If you ever hope to get to a point of like ultimate happiness, which I don't even know if that exists necessarily, right? Because there's always something going on. But if you even hope to have that at some point, you need to figure yourself out first. What kind of like gives you that tickly feeling in your heart, in your chest, that's like this thing, we like this, we love this thing makes me happy. Like, you need to figure out what that is. You're gonna fail a little bit or a lot of it, but at least you're failing doing something that makes you tickle inside, that makes you feel good. So find the thing that makes you tickle inside, okay? For me, it's creating things in many different mediums. You know, I enjoy creating videos on YouTube. I enjoy creating graphics for clients. I enjoy creating a bunch of things. And for a while, I felt very insecure about all these different things. And I felt like I wasn't like really, really great at one thing, which is what society kind of taught me I had to be. And I'm here to tell you that that's just BS. I don't know why we all think that we need to fit into one career, like one job, and that's it, like one thing, one role. And that's what we're supposed to do for the next 35 years until we retire and then die. I enjoy doing multiple things, which is why, to the person that was talking about the marketing job and also loving painting, do both. I know obviously time is a thing and like burnout is a thing, but find moments on the weekend, maybe on Sunday afternoon, to paint and start your own little Etsy shop or something like that. Like, you can find little pockets of time to do this thing that gives you that tickle inside and still do your day job for the meantime. You know, side hustles, it's a huge thing. I know obviously burnout, like I said, is something to take into consideration and to be conscious of and give yourself rest, but also like, there's nothing wrong with doing a little something on the side that like really makes you happy, and then eventually it can take over and be your main thing, which is what I'm doing right now. That is my long-winded answer to that question. Next question, what is it like moving into your first apartment alone? I'm moving in a month and I'm feeling scared to leave the comfort of home. I feel like I felt it for the first time, like a taste of this for the first time when I moved out of my like home, the only home I've ever known, to go to college in my freshman year dorm. And it kind of felt, I mean, obviously now I live alone in the city. I've lived alone numerous times in the city, but I feel like that was the first time where I really felt like, whoa, a shock. Like, I'm not living under the same roof as my parents anymore. I have to like do real adult things. Like, it was definitely a shock. And each time I move apartments, like each time I'm always confronted with this same kind of feeling that happens when I'm like sleeping in the bed for the first time. Like, when you're not in the comfort of your family's home anymore and you move into this place, it always hits you at nighttime, I think. Like, when you're moving in the first night and you're going to bed and you're sitting in bed and you're thinking about like your family or whatever, and you get a little bit sad for a moment there, like a little sad. It kind of reminds me of that Taylor Swift song, Never Grow Up. Here you are in your new apartment in a big city, they just dropped you off. I'm not gonna sing it, but it's like, you keep the nightlight on or whatever. Like, that song, it really, like, play that song when you first move into your new apartment and just cry, okay? Just kidding. Basically what I'm saying here is it's normal to feel a little bit sad, like a little bit of separation anxiety at first. It's totally normal. It's like, obviously you're stepping out of your comfort zone. The fact that you're feeling sad means that you have something very, very special back at home, you know, very special people that probably are so proud of you. So I think the next emotion to focus on is being proud of yourself for taking this big step. I think it's important to focus your energy on feeling very proud of yourself for doing something that took such guts, okay? So many pounds of guts, okay, to do. Living alone can definitely be, you know, lonely sometimes, obviously. You live alone, it can feel lonely. It's possible, obviously. But you need to take the initiative. You need to put yourself in position to be surrounded by other people. You owe it to yourself to make plans throughout the week. Make sure that you don't spend too much time alone, or, you know, you spend as much time alone as you need to recover and recharge, then get back out there and meet people, because that is the beauty of your 20s. You have to write a really beautiful story for yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. You have to. You have the pen in your hand. You are quite literally writing your story. So write a good one, okay? Obviously you can't control the other characters, which kind of sucks, but you can control yourself, your character, to a certain extent. So write yourself a good story and feel darn proud of yourself for moving out on your own. It is a very big deal, and don't let anyone treat it as not a big deal, because it's a huge deal. So it definitely feels like a Taylor Swift song at first, and you are supposed to feel a little bit of sadness, like a pang of sadness, leaving home, leaving another, you know, leaving one chapter for another, even like leaving my college house to come here. Like, it definitely was sad because I had great memories. You know, the reason why it was sad was because I had great times. So you can almost feel kind of grateful that you feel sad, because it means that you left something very good. Really need advice on getting over a breakup and feeling optimistic about future relationships. This is the best part. When dating men is literally an unpaid internship at this point, and the dating pool for straight women is extremely shallow. An unpaid internship. I have never thought about dating like this in my entire life, and now I'm never gonna think about dating any other way. I'm going out to dinner with my friends in a few hours, and you bet your butt I'm going to bring up the unpaid internship concept. Like, what to do when you feel as though you are constantly giving love to others in your life and not receiving it back, and also feeling like you are too much because of it. Okay, so those two questions, the unpaid internship, like how to feel inspired to date when all you've had are like red flags and idiots, and what to do when you feel like you're constantly just like giving love out like it's spare change, you know? Love, not like, you know, sex or whatever. We're talking about love here, and like that could be platonic, that could be with friends. I feel this to my core. I think I'm a very loving person by nature. Like, I am so focused on people being good. Like, I really want so badly for people to be good that I invent false narratives and kind of convince myself that maybe I was in the wrong when they were totally in the wrong, but I just want them to be good. I want their character to be the good guy, so I give them every possible like free pass in the fucking game, okay? So these two questions together have really got me thinking, because I actually posted this on Instagram a few days ago that someone asked me, what's the dating scene like right now? And I was like, I'm actually thinking of taking a dating hiatus, and I indeed have taken a dating hiatus. It's been a week, and I have only checked Hinge one time, because I had a few martinis, and I swear it's like 3 martinis in, Hinge open. Okay, I'm checking, I'm seeing who's around. I truly have not been really thinking about dating for the past week, and I know a week is not very long, but for me, it's pretty long. I'm on a hiatus because I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being disappointed by men because they can't handle me for all that I am. The person asking like what to do when you feel like you're too much, like if you're giving too much love, you're too much, there's no such thing, okay? You are too much for some people. Those people are not your people, if that makes sense. You will never, I've heard this somewhere, you will never be too much for the people that can't get enough of you. Like, you are catering to the wrong audience if you feel like you're too much, if you feel like you're giving out too much love. Like, my friends know that I am a lot. Like, I am a lot, and I am unashamed of that. Like, I give a lot of love, I give a lot of unsolicited opinions. I really, like, I check in, I text, I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm a lot. I'm not one of those people that just like sits back and like lets things happen and like lets friendships die. I like am very invested in my relationships, and I will never say sorry for that. I love a lot, and I love loudly, and I don't ever want someone to make me feel like that is not a good thing, because having a lot of love in this world that is so starved for it. There's so many moments that I witness on a daily basis here in New York City that just needed a little bit of love. Like I saw two people literally screaming at each other on the street yesterday, and it was over a misunderstanding. A man, a very kind man, intervened and coached them through it. And this man stepped in and just offered a little bit of kindness, and it was the most beautiful thing to see. It was the most New York thing to see. Two guys just totally like yelling at each other over something so stupid, and just a little dose of love really changing the story, changing the narrative. Basically, my answer to this question, like what I'm personally doing, is, like I said, taking a step back, taking a hiatus. There's no shame in knowing when you need to throw in the towel and just give it a break. Like I talk about dating a lot. Obviously, I'm very invested. Like I love love so much. I really want it for myself. People always say, I know there's gonna be at least one comment on this video alone that's like, Katie, when you stop looking, you'll find it. And I have this issue where I know that's true. I've seen it happen. I know I can't let things go. I can't let things happen without me being involved. Like I need to like write my own story. I always am one to slide in DMs. I'm always one to ask people out on dates. I can't locate my chill. I can't seem to find it. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. I fall very hard, okay? I fall very hard, and again, I'm not gonna feel ashamed for that, for feeling that way, or for being like that, because someday I will find someone that like will just love that about me. I don't know. So reeling things back in here, getting down to business with some bullet points. First, take a break if you need to. Delete the apps if you need to. Do what you need to do in order to feel like you have space to be and to think and to just be on your own for a bit and be comfortable with that. Because like I've said earlier, it's like you need a solid foundation. You need your bag of bones you carry around every day to be solid before you can even expect like to give a little bit of yourself away. Like you need to have enough energy on your own. And I feel like when I've gone through like bad date after bad date, fizzle out after fizzle out, slow fade after slow fade, and situationship after situationship, I just need some time to be by myself, to remind myself what I deserve and what my priorities are. And doing those things, like kind of taking a little time to reconnect with myself, fill me back up, give me the ammo, the strength to go back out there. Like it's literally like when you're doing a race car race, because I do that all the time, like race car races, like NASCAR, you're going around the track and then you stop to change the tires and whatever, and they like help you get your car back going, up and running or whatever the heck, and then you get back out there and you go around again. So it's okay to throw in the towel, know when you need to take a break and get your tires checked, and then you get back out there and you are better because of it. Because each time you fall down, each bad date you go on, each bad person you come in contact with that just ultimately sucks, and sucks so bad, it shows you all the things you don't want. And honestly, that sometimes is better than showing you what you do want, like on a silver platter. It's like sometimes okay to like go on a bunch of bad dates because you're like, wow, now I know I don't want that. I don't need this. I need someone that is just not at all like you. And that's kind of fine too, because eventually like it's just kind of like checking off all the boxes of like who isn't right. It's like when you're playing Clue. Another analogy for you. You're playing the board game Clue. I love that game. I used to play all the time with my family. So you make guesses of like who you think committed the murder, like in what room with what weapon and who was it. It's like Colonel Mustard in the library with the revolver, and like you're wrong. You like put that in, you think that's it, you're wrong, but then you figure out like, okay, it's not him, or it's not this room, it's not that. Dating is kind of like a game of Clue. You eventually figure out who did it, or who it is, who is your love, based on all the people who didn't do it, who aren't your loves. So, dear Katie, I'm having trouble staying kind when the people I'm surrounded by at work aren't so nice. I know their attitudes have nothing to do with me and everything to do with them, but I found there's a fine line between being nice to them and letting them walk all over me. Any tips for staying compassionate while still holding boundaries? This is tough. Oh my God, this just brings me back to my corporate days, and whoa, that's a trip. Okay, I think that I have struggled my entire life with being too nice, my whole life. And It's one of those things where like you need to think of yourself as your friend, like as someone you need to protect. It needs to kind of be an out-of-body experience a little bit. And when you are in the situation where you're getting kind of walked all over by your coworkers or someone's taking advantage of your niceness, of your compassion, of your kindness in a situation, you need to kind of think of it, you know, as you protecting your friend. You are a very soft person in a very hard world, and that is a very good thing, a very noble thing, but it's also something that will hurt you, that will get you hurt, that will hold you back from really awesome opportunities, because, you know, people sometimes in this world, people favor the mean, the people that are harsh and blunt. And I'm just not one of those people, and I've always wanted to be one of those people until I realized that a lot of those people are just very sad, and I don't want to be like that. Like I want to remain soft in this world because I think that the world needs it. So just first of all, know that it's not a bad thing to be like that, and don't lose that part of you. Don't become hard because you feel like you need to be that way to, you know, make a statement, to stand up to your coworkers, things like that. Like don't feel like you need to do that, but like you don't need to be hard, you don't need to be cruel, you don't need to be mean or backstabbing, but you can just be honest and say, you know, you have to at some point stand up for yourself. And it's hard because I feel like in the workplace people don't say what they mean. They say things in this weird like corporate way of saying things where it just doesn't even make sense. It's like, you know, instead of saying how they really feel, like they're aggravated by the feedback or they're angry that you didn't answer their email or whatever, they just like say things in weird corporate speak that like doesn't even make sense, like if you know what I'm saying. Giving an example, so in my corporate job, I feel like I pulled kind of crazy hours, like I was always just like working way too late. And you know, it came to a point where I had to literally say to my coworkers, like, I cannot pull this for you because I am off. And you have to get to a point where you make boundaries, and I think you should make them as soon as you possibly can. Like, I think the biggest thing is people always think they're gonna get fired. Don't have this fear of being fired because you're setting boundaries, because ultimately it'll make the job more enjoyable for you if you have boundaries, if you know, treat yourself like your friend and take care of you and take care of your heart. If you have a good heart and you're a kind person and you feel like you're getting walked all over, like you think of it as like, what would you say to someone that you love, like a friend of yours? What would you say to them if they said that this is happening to them? Like what advice would you give them? Corporate world is very hard. A lot of people, especially when they're new in their roles, it's kind of inevitable. You're gonna get a little walked over because you are a newbie, you know, obviously. But as you mature in your role, I think it's important to know that like you deserve to be there. You deserve to be there just as much as all those other people. Just some other miscellaneous working coworker tips that I have that I want to say. I don't even think this is like part of the question, but like in general, just know that your coworkers, yes, it's beautiful when your coworkers become your friends, but just know that the way that people are at work, a lot of it's for show, a lot of it is for, you know, because they know how to network and because they know that by being friendly with people, it is like the road to promotions. And I saw this like in my corporate job. It's, you know, obviously you want to be friends with people, and like I was genuinely friends with so many people that I worked with, and I think it was genuine on their side as well. But it was pretty easy to spot the people that like, you know, put on the smile when the boss was in the room, and then as soon as the boss left the room, like the smile faded. If you have coworkers of any sort, just please like take this to heart. Everything you say to them, everything you say can be twisted and said back to someone else. Like everything you say can be repeated. Everything you type, specifically everything you put in your like little chat box, your messenger, you text, can be screenshotted, it can be shown to other people. I know it sounds like I'm speaking from experience on this. I'm actually not. It didn't happen to me personally, but it happened to someone that I know where like the chats got leaked and it was a whole nightmare. So be careful. Like work is work. It is like you feel like you're forging these friendships. You feel like you are trying to get on people's good sides. You're trying to kiss up to them. You're trying to be their friends because you want them to see you. Just be careful, I guess, in general with your coworkers, because you never know. You just never know. I think that's important. That's what I would tell anyone that asks me for advice about like coworker stuff. But in general, I think that, you know, a lot of times you can also convince yourself that people don't like you when they really do like you. Like I think that it's common to think that everyone's against you, especially if they don't express things in the way that you express things. Like if they express their gratitude in ways other than saying thank you, you know, and maybe more physical ways of like, I don't know, like, you know, people express things in such different ways. So I wouldn't jump to the conclusion of people don't like you unless they've literally expressed to you, I do not like you. But going back to the original question, setting boundaries is important. You most likely will not get fired. What do you think you will? Like, I always thought I was gonna get fired like every 5 seconds. I'm like, oh, I'm getting fired. Oh, someone put a meeting on my calendar, I'm getting fired. But stop jumping to that conclusion, because even if you do get fired, maybe it's a wonderful stroke of luck, you know? Who knows? Wonderfully unexpected stroke of luck. How do you get over the judgment of dating a younger guy? I'm 23 and he's 20. We get along very well and he's sweet and mature, but I know our relationship will probably catch some flack about the age difference. Why is society still not accepting of age being just a number? Okay, first of all, just being blunt here, I do not think that that's a big age difference at all. I don't think that that's a bad age difference at all. My dad is 2 years younger than my mom, and they met when they were about the same age as what she's describing here. I feel like my dad was probably like 19 maybe, and my mom was 21, or I don't know, something along those lines. And their relationship is the strongest, most amazing relationship I've ever seen. So I truly do think age is just a number. I think at some points, like obviously when it's illegal, it's not good. Like if they're below 18, like, you know, there's reasons why laws exist, obviously. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying here, but I do think that it sounds like the issue here is you worrying about what people think of your relationship. And like maybe it's like a nagging feeling because there's something wrong with the relationship, or I don't know, you have to ask yourself that question, like, why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? If you're so happy, why do you care about what society thinks? And also, I don't even think that's a bad age difference at all, to be quite honest with you. I think that that's totally normal and fine. Once you get over a certain age, I feel like age difference isn't as important. I think it really truly does depend on the person and their maturity, and if it matches yours. And, you know, number is less important, I think. Anyway, guys, that is my story. Thank you guys for listening to my answers to these questions. Had a fun time just rambling with you guys and coming up with random analogies. I didn't prepare at all for this video, so I'm really glad that I was able to answer these questions. I think it's because I'm not drinking wine this time. Ah, the wonders of not drinking and answering questions. Maybe I'm better this way. With that being said, I'm going to go prep myself a glass of rosé and go out with my friends tonight. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think below. Subscribe to my channel. I like never say that anymore, but you can go ahead and do that if you want. And I will talk to you guys all in my next video. Bye.